Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dig into something that trips up so many companies. You've probably heard that a great logo is everything, right? Well, what if I told you that logo is just the tiny, visible tip of a massive iceberg? Let's dive in.
So, let me ask you this right off the bat. Is a logo the same thing as a brand? It's a really common mix-up. So many businesses pour a ton of money into a slick visual, thinking, okay, brand, check. But the truth is, it's so much deeper than that. And knowing that difference is the real key to building something that can actually go the distance.
All right, so let's break it down. On one side, you've got the logo. That's the visual symbol. It's simply what people see. But the brand is everything else. It's the whole story. It's the company's values. It's that gut feeling a customer gets when they think about you. The logo is just a little shortcut, a symbol that's supposed to remind you of all that other stuff. And the work you do to build that feeling? That's called branding. And notice the key word here, strategic. This isn't just about making pretty things. It's about carefully, deliberately managing every single interaction a customer has with you to shape how they perceive you. The goal isn't just for people to recognize you. It's to build a real emotional connection and ultimately get their loyalty. So, using that iceberg idea, let's go below the waterline and see what's actually holding this whole thing up. Because a really powerful brand, especially one that wants to succeed internationally, is always built on three huge interconnected pillars. So what are they? First, you have brand architecture. That's the who. Who are you, really? Second is the visual identity. That's the what. What do people see? And finally, you have the brand tone, which is the how. How do you talk? You see how the visual part, the logo, is just one piece of a much bigger puzzle? Okay, so let's dig into that first and most important pillar, your brand architecture. Think of this as the soul of your company. It's your origin story. It's your personality. It's the core values you defend. And it's the fundamental beliefs that guide every single decision you make. This is the stuff that your competitors can't just go out and copy. And it absolutely has to be real. You know, you can't just say you're all about sustainability because it's a popular buzzword. It has to be authentic, something you can actually prove. Believe me, customers today can smell a fake a mile away, and once you lose that trust, it's nearly impossible to win it back. Now, once you have that authentic foundation, you can start building what we call brand equity, or real value. And this is where the magic happens. It's where you stop thinking about what your product does and start focusing on what it represents inside your customer's mind. So how in the world do you do that? How do you build a brand that someone will happily pay more for, even when there's a cheaper alternative right next to it? Well, it's not magic. It's actually a pretty clear step-by-step process. It all follows a kind of pyramid. At the very bottom, you have identity. People just need to know who you are. Then you build on that with meaning. What are you all about? What's the experience you're creating? And at the very top, the peak of the pyramid, is relationships. It all comes down to how your customers feel about you. That feeling, that connection, that's where true brand loyalty lives. And this is the big mindset shift right here. In today's world, you're not really selling coffee or cars or software. You're selling the experience. You're selling that feeling of comfort from a warm cup or the sense of freedom on the open road. Companies that get this are the ones that become powerful brands. Okay, so we've done all this deep internal work to define our brand's soul. Now, how do we make that tangible? How do we let customers actually see it and hear it? Let's go back to the logo for a second, because even this simple visual is packed with strategy. Are you a logo type, just text like Coca-Cola? An isotype, a pure symbol like Apple's apple? An imago type, where the text and symbol work together but can be separated like Pizza Hut? Or an isologo, where it's all one integrated unit like KFC? Each one sends a different signal. It's not just art class, it's a huge strategic choice. And here is a fantastic real-world example of this in action. The bank, Bancolombia, in its home market, used the bright colors of the Colombian flag. This created a sense of national pride. But when they wanted to go international, they switched to a very sleek, serious, black and white identity. Why? Because they knew that to earn trust in global finance, they had to project stability and seriousness. A simple color change communicated that instantly.
It's a total masterclass in brand strategy.
So that brings us to our third and final pillar, brand tone. This is where your brand's personality really gets to speak. It's the actual voice you use on social media, the words you choose for your emails, even the script your customer service team uses. Is your brand funny, reassuring, a little bit edgy? Whatever you decide, it has to be consistent across the board, so it always feels like it's coming from that same authentic soul we defined earlier.
Now, when you nail all three of these pillars, your deep architecture, your visual identity, and your consistent tone, that's when you get the holy grail, lasting brand loyalty. This is what every single company is chasing.
Because at the end of the day, it all boils down to a very simple truth. You can spend millions of dollars on ads, but absolutely nothing is more powerful than a customer who is genuinely happy. They become your marketing team, they become your biggest advocates, and you don't pay them a cent.
So, how powerful is that experience really? Well, the data is pretty clear. When someone has a great experience with your brand, on average, they'll tell about 3 other people, which, is great, but the real kicker is what happens when things go south. A single bad experience gets shared, on average, 10 times. 10. Our brains are just wired to focus on and share negative things way more than positive ones. And that right there is why consistency is everything. One bad moment can erase 100 good ones. So we end right back where we started. Sure, your logo might be what people see first. It's what gets them to notice you. But it's the brand, that whole story, the values, the consistent experience. That's what makes them stay. Thanks for watching The Explainer.